the data on MDMA are incredible. And MDMA is this massive increase in serotonin, but also dopamine. And the thing about MDMA is for years it was thought that it is neurotoxic. And that's because a paper was published on this. It turns out they were using methamphetamine, not MDMA in these studies. The safety profiles of MDMA, provided it's real MDMA, it's not cut with methamphetamine, are actually quite high. This was discussed by a guy named Nolan Williams, who's in our Department of Psychiatry at Stanford. He's one of these crazy, like triple board certified psychiatrist twice over and neurologist. So I trust him. He's very, very conservative about this stuff.
Pure MDMA.
Pure MDMA has been tested at minimal use, meaning just a couple of times, moderate use, which is, I think, like 5 to 10 times or so, and then people have used a lot of it. And the safety profiles showed that people tend to be cognitively normal despite those uses. But the sourcing matters. And what's interesting, you know who those studies were?
How do you sign up to be one of these test subjects?
You know who they did those studies on? If you think about what's the one group of people that don't do any drugs, don't drink alcohol, they did them on Mormons.
Fucking brilliant.
And then the Mormons told me that Mormon now, I'm supposed to say LDS, Latter-day Church of Latter-day Saints.
Yeah.
But, and I have some very close Mormon friends, and it's really interesting. So turns out MDMA is not on the banned substance list for Mormons.
Wow.
For LDS. And so they did these studies in Utah on people from LDS. This is what Nolan tells me. I looked at the study. Yeah, wild, right? What a great population.
I mean, it makes sense because they're also fucking happy.
They also looked at kids.
They seem, what?
Kids who have done MDMA. And so this is a smaller data set, but the safety profiles on the actual compounds are pretty impressive. The problem is that the stuff off the street is cut with amphetamine. Amphetamine is neurotoxic. So when you see someone doing the meth walk down the street, that is because they have brain degeneration at that point. And nobody wants that. Meth is just a terrible drug, right? And so, sourcing matters. And then MDMA, the one problem with MDMA is it makes you feel attached and bonded to anything. So if you're listening to music, it's like, I'm really into music. I have a friend, he decided he wanted to be a musician inside of the MDMA session. I'm like, that's what you got out of it? Yeah. He's still a terrible musician, But so working with somebody to keep you, who's licensed and can tell you, listen, let's focus back on your relationship to yourself or back on your relationship to whatever, or this person. But the data are really impressive.